Shang-Chi, or Shang-Chi, or Shang-Chi, whatever you want to call him. Shang-Chi. I don't know myself. But it has been a week today since I went to see it, so it's been out for a week. I thought I'd do this video about a week later, just so it gave people who watch my videos a time to go and watch the movie. If you are a Marvel fan, I don't know why you'd be watching this if you weren't a Marvel fan. But anyway, I want to talk to you all about my thoughts, my feelings on Shang-Chi, and how I felt truly during what seems to me a 3-act film. Most films are 3 acts. However, something like Lord of the Rings is about 5 acts. But like this film definitely felt a solid 3 acts. You sort of have the first act, which is definitely Awkwafina, also who in the film is called Katie. It's definitely her film. Like, it feels like it's just her like film. She's like the center of the movie for the first act of the film, and I really liked that. I really liked that for once in a Marvel movie, the female side characters are actually getting more involved. It definitely feels like, because with something like Ant-Man that we've previously seen, you know, you have Hope Van Dyne, who hasn't had a lot to do apart from in Ant-Man and the Wasp. In Ant-Man, she was just a useless side character who didn't really do much. She wasn't in the film a lot, but she was there. But then, with Ant-Man and the Wasp, she was given a lot more screen time, and her name was in the title. So she was given a lot more to do. And then obviously the third film, Quantumania, that's coming out in 2023, I think, is Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, meaning she's still a visceral part of that film. In this film, Katie definitely has a lot to do. She sort of is the saviour of the film. Like, you think, oh, Shang-Chi's going to defeat the big bad. No. Katie does it, technically speaking. She gives the opportunity for Shang-Chi to be able to kill the big, massive bloodsucker thing, or soul sucker, that's what they call them, I think, soul suckers. I have only seen this film once. I did go and see it a second time, but I did fall asleep because it was a very long day, and it's not because the film was boring in any shape or form, it's because I was absolutely knackered. But anyway, enough of that, it don't matter. But yeah, so Katie by far was my favourite character from Shang-Chi. Awkwafina did an amazing job, and the acting across the board throughout this movie was immense. It was amazing. It was so perfect and so spectacular. Like, Marvel outdid themselves again, acting-wise and casting-wise. Like, Simu Liu, who plays... Oh, yeah, Simu Liu. Yeah, I think that's right. Who plays Shang-Chi. I loved him. I loved him in Shang-Chi. I thought he was amazing. I think he's so well suited for this new mainstream Marvel character. He is amazing. Then obviously we also have, oh God, I'm going to try Michelle Yeoh, I think her name is, or Michelle Yeoh, I think it's Michelle Yeoh, from Star Trek Discovery. Well, that's what I know her from. She was also amazing. She wasn't in this movie much, she was in the third act, but she was, like, amazing. Like, all acting, every single character in this film was amazing. Yeah, so the first act, you know, you have things like the bus scene, and, you know, it was so well choreographed. Like, the stylization of the fight scenes were just so, like, I felt like I was watching an old martial arts movie, you know, like a Jackie Chan or a Bruce Lee sort of kind of film. Like, it was so, like, hand-to-hand combat was immense. And I saw a training video of Simu Liu and, oh, I don't know her name, who plays Xialing. But basically they were doing, oh, hello, Mr. Truck or whatever you were. I saw a fighting video that they were doing, a training video, and it was real. And I was like, what? They actually did that in the film? Like, that's amazing. Like, I loved it. It was so cool. This review is all over the place, by the way. I'm just thinking of things that come to my head when I think about the film. Yeah, so the first act was very much the bus fight scene and getting to know Sean and Katie, not Shang-Chi, but Sean and Katie, and a bit about their lives. However, we did get our look at, I'm going to use this, the Mandarin, because that's sort of like, that is him, but he's sort of a blend of someone else from the comics that I can't remember the name of. I'm not familiar with Shang-Chi at all. I am going to go see it again, probably, and properly, like, analyse everything. I'm going to wait till it's out, like, at home, so I can watch it at home and properly analyse everything and remember everything and whatever. But, basically, I thought, obviously it's called Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. The Ten Rings are amazing. Like, in this film, I think the Ten Rings are my favourite sort of weapon throughout Marvel. Forget the Infinity Gauntlet. Forget Mjolnir or Stormbreaker. Forget Iron Man's repulsors, bitch. The Ten Rings. They do some wacky shit. It's like Sonic on steroids. Like, it's mental. It is fucking mental. Like, that when I'm going to have to call him the Mandarin because I can't remember his actual name in the freaking film. But when the Mandarin is using them at the beginning, the very first thing that we see, the fight scene where we have Shang-Chi's mum talking about the legend of him. You know, that fight scene where he's breaking into this place, I can't remember what it is, where he's breaking in and he's doing the fight scene. Like, the Ten Rings are mental. Like, just flinging them about and repelling all of the arrows, and, like, it was just, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. The Ten Rings in this film is obviously the organisation, but also the weapon. And the weapon, I'm so excited to see more of Shang-Chi. I am really excited to see him deeper into the MCU than he actually gets in this film. He gets quite deep into the MCU in this film. But I can't wait to see more of that. More of that. Like, But yes, the Ten Rings are amazing. I thought the Mandarin, who is Shang-Chi's father, I thought there were parts where I actually felt sorry for him. And Marvel's never done that really with me with a villain, apart from Loki. And look where he is now with his own fucking show, and yeah. But I really did feel sorry for him at parts, because in this film, the Ten Rings are making him open this gateway to basically like this other dimension where there's these beasts and this massive dragon thing and this whatever, right? Then these rings are playing on his mind and making him think that his wife is being trapped in this other dimension, and he wants to break her out and get her free. And I really felt that. I felt like, wow, like what he would do. He is a villain. He's a bad guy and he's done bad things. However, he's trying to do something good in a way, but by doing that something good, he's making things a lot worse. Like, he had good intentions, but he didn't do it in the right way. But, like, honestly, I really felt for him. And obviously this is a spoiler review, guys. And when he died, I just thought, damn. Like, I really teared up. I really, really did. I really cried. Like, he was such a strong character in this movie. Not just, like, physically with the Ten Rings, but, like, powerfully, emotionally driven. And, like, he would have, if he was still alive, he would have gone so far in the MCU. Like, he would have been the next Loki for me. Like, honestly, I think him and Katie were my favourite characters through this movie. And I do tend to like the villains a lot, except Thanos. I do tend to like the villains a lot more than, like, the heroes in some of these films, because they are just so good. But they killed him off. And I was just like, no, you've really missed a trick, Marvel. You've really missed a trick. And I don't know. Like, I hope, I can only hope that, like, within this whole multiverse stuff, he comes back at some point. I really hope so, because he is amazing. But yeah, anyway, first act of the film, I told you about that, and I just told you a bit about the third act. The second act of the film is very much the Abomination versus Wong fight that only lasted like 30 seconds. Like, I was like, it was so hyped up in the trailers, and I was like, oh my god, we're going to see Abomination again from Incredible Hulk, it's going to be amazing, we might even see Tim Roth again. No, it was 30 seconds long, and it wasn't very satisfying. I was a bit disappointed with that, to be honest. But, you know, what can you do? It's a cool callback, though. It was a cool callback. I'm very, very cool. I'm, like, so glad that they did it, though, to show that Abomination is still in the MCU, and I feel like he is probably... I think he is confirmed. Is he confirmed? He's confirmed to show up, isn't he? In She-Hulk, I think. I remember seeing that when Kevin Feige did his presentation at the Disney Investors Day. I think. I don't actually know, but I think he did. But I can't wait to see Tim Roth and Abomination come back at some point in the future. Like, I think that's going to be so cool. And, yeah, that was really, really cool. And then you have the whole thing of Ben Kingsley, I think that's his name, who played the Mandarin in Iron Man 3, who was the actor, called Trevor, I think. Yeah, he's called Trevor. He was so funny in this film. Honestly, this film was actually so comedic. It was so funny. Like, I was laughing throughout it. It's so funny. But Ben Kingsley, man, was amazing. It's so cool to have him back as well. Like, he's such a cool support character. And I feel like now he's going to stay in the sort of Shang-Chi, like, area of the MCU. You know, the mystical side. So maybe crossing into Doctor Strange at some point, maybe. Or something to do with, like, Wanda or whatever. Like, I don't know. But, like, he's definitely going to stay in the more mystical side now, I think. Just because Iron Man 3 was shit. It wasn't a very good film, I'm not going to lie. It had good points, but it had very terrible points. But he was definitely, like, the saviour of that, like, towards the end. Like, he was actually hilarious. But in this film, he ups it so much and makes it so funny. Like, the last third of this film was made by him being hilarious. Like, it really was. He was so funny. So funny. So overall, the first two acts, pretty solid, pretty amazing, pretty funny, pretty action-packed, pretty thrilling, pretty emotional. The third act, however, I do have a few problems with. Not massive problems, but problems. So, within the MCU, it's felt quite... I mean, I'm going to say the word realistic. There is dragons, there is magic, and that sort of shit. However, it's still quite realistic in the sense that it's not gone too out there. Apart from, like, with Thor, I mean, like a god and all that sort of stuff. It doesn't feel fantasy. It feels real, it feels gritty, it feels emotional, it feels powerful, it feels like it could exist in real life. However, when it came to the third act of Shang-Chi, it went too far in the sort of fantasy element. Like, when I went to see Shang-Chi, I was like, okay, this is going to be an amazing martial arts sort of movie. It's going to be really, really cool. It's going to be kick-ass. It's going to be amazing. And then the third act, I sort of started to go, wait, what's happening? Okay, they're fighting. They're fighting each other. Okay, hiya, whatever. Then it went too into the fantasy element. It had dragons. It had... I mean, the dragon... I wasn't bothered by the dragon. The dragon was really, really cool. I really loved the dragon. But then it started to have these weird blood-sucking creatures, and it started to have this massive-ass dragon blood-sucking, soul-sucking thing, and it just started to really ramp up into this sort of, like, what? Like, this doesn't feel Marvel. Like, the last act didn't feel Marvel at all. It felt like I was watching a different movie. Like, if this movie wasn't a Marvel movie and it was just a movie, I would have enjoyed it a hell of a lot more. But because it's Marvel, I just felt that adding dragons and things into the MCU just didn't feel very Marvel-ish. I know that sounds stupid, and I know people who read the comics are going to completely and utterly disagree with me. But as a person who doesn't read the comics, I don't read the comics. I have read quite a lot of the comics, but not to do with, like, Shang-Chi or, like, that side of Marvel. I haven't read any Shang-Chi or Doctor Strange or like any of the mystical comics. I've only really read Iron Man, Spider-Man, those sorts of comics. But, you know, what can you do? However, it hasn't put me off this film. Like, the last act hasn't put me off this film. Like, I would completely and utterly rewatch this loads of times. Much like I did Black Widow. Black Widow, I did 3, maybe 4 viewings in the first, like, 2 weeks that it came out. Like, I watched that a lot. I haven't watched it since. I'm going to wait till it's out on Disney Plus for free. And then I'm going to rewatch it again for, like, the 5th time. And then when Shang-Chi's out on Disney Plus, I'm going to be watching that again. Definitely. A hell of a lot. But overall, this film was way better than Black Widow. Like, that is a hands down. Like, out of 10, I'd give this film, like, an 8.5. Like, there's such strong characters, side characters. The storyline is beautiful and empowering to the Asian community. It is so raw. It's so gritty. It's quite dark at moments, but overall, it's powerful. And it really, really brings it home. Like, Marvel Phase 4 is going to be off the fucking chain. It is going to be mental. It's going to be fucking mental. Black Widow was a bit of an compared to this. Like, Black Widow's like, woo! Shang-Chi's like, woo! It is... I can't express it. Go and watch it. It's fucking amazing. I have my gripes with it, but it's fucking amazing. But, that's my review of Shang-Chi. Well, it's more of a rant. But it's my review. It's different. No videos of me going to the cinema. It's just me ranting at you for 20 minutes about Shang-Chi. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed it, guys. If you liked it, like it. If you didn't, fuck off. I'm joking. Please don't. Please subscribe. Comment down below if you have any thoughts on Shang-Chi, or if you've seen it, or if you're going to see it, and tell me what your thoughts were. Thank you, guys, and I'll see you all later. Bye. Oh my god, my god, my god, my god, my god. I completely and utterly forgot to talk about the post-credit scenes. Let me turn this fan off. The post-credit scenes. I forgot. The first post-credit scene we get is where Wong and Shang-Chi and Katie are in the Sanctum Sanctorum or somewhere like that, and they are discussing the 10 rings. Because when Shang-Chi used the 10 rings, it set off a beacon. A beacon. We don't know what it is, who it's contacting, or who's contacting them, or whatever it is, we don't know. But Hulk, aka Bruce Banner, Mark Ruffalo, was there, and so was Carol Danvers, aka Captain Marvel, and it's not Chitauri, it's not alien, and it's not made of vibranium. They don't know where it came from. I'm so excited to have that answer. The second post-credit scene, we saw Xialing sat on the throne of the 10 rings, and he's sort of remixing it up. And at the end of the film, it didn't say that Shang-Chi would return. It would say that the 10 rings would return. Meaning, who knows? Oh, no. I think I'm catching